The next topic we're going to talk about is free-floating subdivisions. Now, some subdivisions are used with specific subject headings, and when this is the case, authority records are created for the specific combination of the subject heading and the subdivision. For some subdivisions, this is not the case, and these are called free-floating subdivisions. According to the Library of Congress Subject Headings Manual, a free-floating subdivision is a form or topical subdivision that may be used under designated subjects without the usage being established editorially, and as a consequence without an authority record being created for each main heading subdivision combination that might be needed. Basically, this means that you can use a particular subdivision with a wide variety of subjects. Now, the free-floating subdivisions do not appear in the Red Books or in the online Library of Congress Authorities website. They're published as a separate publication by the Library of Congress, and you use this book in consultation with the Subject Headings Manual to know how to apply them. If you do have access to OCLC Connection, you can search for subdivision headings within the software. Now, free-floating subdivisions can be used with a variety of subject headings, but there still are some rules that you should keep in mind when you're using them. You can't just quite use any subdivision you want with any subject heading. For example, one thing to keep in mind is that you should make sure that the subject heading and subdivision string you're thinking about creating would not conflict with an already existing heading. For example, if you saw the free-floating subdivision Songs and Music and thought that you would attach it to Christmas for a book about Christmas music, you would first want to make sure that the subject heading Christmas music does not already exist. As it happens, it does, so you would not want to use Christmas songs and music. You would want to use Christmas music instead. Another thing to keep in mind is that certain subdivisions can be only used with certain types of subject headings. For example, if you look up the free-floating subdivision Law and Legislation, you'll see that it can be used for industries, but it can't be used for classes of people. So while computer software industry, law and legislation is an okay subject heading string to use, computer programmers, law and legislation is not. By the way, in case you were wondering, the correct subdivision to use for laws about computer programmers would be legal status, laws, etc. So those are just a few things to keep in mind when you're dealing with free-floating subdivisions.